name is Mike, and this is my parkour journey. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I apologize for being way past my 2-week promise of my last update. But before I get any further in this video, I have to admit that the title of this video is a bit clickbaity. When I say the hardest balance, I'm not talking about sticking a massive gap but I'm talking about all the things that are going on in my life that I'm juggling right now that's affected my training, and how, what's the balance of how to train, when to train, and when does life take over. Now, it's going to be a pretty sucky video if it was just me moaning about how too much going on in my life to train. So while I talk about all that, I'm just going to show some highlights of what I've done in the past little while. So if you don't want to hear me whine, which I'm sure some of you don't, turn down the volume, pump up your favorite jam, and just enjoy my highlights. So about a month ago, my boys had just finished school and we had started summer holidays. It was way too hot for them to be outside, so I took them to a place called the Flip Factory, which is a trampoline, parkour, stunt, silks, really cool facility. And I figured this would be a fun way to get some air awareness and maybe introduce them to some, maybe even some backflips on a trampoline while wearing a harness. And it was a ton of fun, and we all learned some basic trampoline skills. I even convinced the boys to come check out the harness, and they actually attempted a backflip. And if I ever have a bad day and need something to smile about, all I have to do is think back to my favorite memory of that day, and I guaranteed have a smile on my face. So with some my newfound air awareness, I took that to my next private session, which in fact turned out to be my last one in the last almost month and a half here. So I started warming up in the airbag, and you know what? Without having actually done any real practice, my side flips they felt way better. So I thought this would be probably a good time to maybe start trying to take it to the ground. So we set up some ground progressions, and after that last session, I was actually pretty happy where we left off. So after that, we actually got to go on a family vacation. Restrictions were lifted between our provinces, and we were able to get away for a week, which was really awesome. We spent a lot of time in the pool, golfed a little bit, just had some fun, but I didn't train at all, and I didn't work out. But I did manage to do a side flip and a back flip into the pool. So I don't have any footage of it, unfortunately, but it was really nice to know that mentally I could still do a backflip, which I hadn't done a proper one in, my guess is 6 months or so. So once I forgot to mention that right before we went on holidays, we got hit by this freak hailstorm, which damaged the house, and I've been having to deal with working with insurance and getting quotes to get the house fixed up. So that's been taking up a big chunk of my time, and part of the reason why I haven't been able to train as much. So when we got back from holidays, I felt that since I hadn't trained or worked out, I need to really get back into it. So the gyms when the kids were in their parkour class, I started revisiting some of the skills that I had been working on in the past, and just to see where I was at. Since my last challenge I gave myself, that was that 70-inch jack pre, wasn't really sure what I was going to work on next, so I just figured this would be a good chance just to see what I got, where I was at with some of the skills that I kind of left off but didn't really complete, and trying to figure out what's going to be my next challenge. So I also did my first outdoor session with other people, which was a lot of fun. I didn't actually film too much footage, but it was a ton of fun. And then I also did my first indoor session with a bunch of people. And so after these first two sessions, two group jams, which were a lot of fun, I think I got into the troubles of trying to train too much too fast, without really letting my body get used to the training. And definitely training outdoors really took a bigger toll on my joints and my back and my body than I thought I would. And I started working out again because I thought I need to catch up. And I don't think it matters what age you are, even though I am in my 40s. When you're getting back into any kind of training, it definitely makes sense to ease yourself back into it. And I remember when I was going on these group sessions or group jams, my wife cautioned me, try not to keep up with the young bucks. And
I'm too old for this stuff. He said, I'm too old for this stuff.
I know parkour isn't a competitive sport in the way when we train, but I'm very competitive by nature. And I think subconsciously I might have pushed myself to do a little more than I would normally do if I were training alone. So the injury hit list includes, so I tweaked both my ankles. I've got sore hips, sore knees, sore shoulders, sore back. And I think I made the mistake of, as soon as I started feeling a little better, I went back into training. So I had to make the hard decision to cut back, really give my body a chance to heal before really getting back into training. So one of the benefits of giving my body a chance to heal up was I was able to watch my kids do their classes and do their training. And out of the blue, my oldest Jacob, he asked me to take him to Century Gardens for an outdoor session, which I was thrilled with. So no one else joined us, which was actually kind of nice. It was just a nice way for me and him to kind of do something together, and I had a blast watching him. I actually would have trained more with him, but during our warm-up I had tweaked said ankle, so I decided not to push it. And you know what, an old dog like me can still learn to do new tricks, which for me, not training while injured. So he did awesome. He had I'll show some highlights of him hitting some great lines. And so this is where I'm at currently. Body's almost back to being 100%, as 100% as it can be for me. And I'm hoping that once I get that, I can do some more training and maybe figure out what challenge I want to do. So I hope you all enjoyed this video, and please like and subscribe, and see you next time.